Rohit,
Yes.
introduce yourself to the board members.
Sorry, sir.
Introduce yourself to the board members.
Sir, myself Rohit Vikrant, and I did my schooling from Patna itself. After that, my graduation from Cochin University in Kochi, Kerala. And presently, I am working as a junior engineer in Bihar State Power Transmission Company Limited.
You went to Kochi for graduation.
Yes, sir.
Why?
And that is a government college and a very reputed college in India. That's right.
I have noticed one thing, Rohit, that many of the young students after their schooling, they prefer to go outside, either to Delhi or to some other parts of India. Do you think that we in Bihar are lagging behind in educational sector as compared to the rest of India?
Sir, if you look at the scenario 5 years or 4 years back, then definitely we were lagging behind at that time. But at the present situation, the situation has been changed. Many government colleges have been opened in Bihar. Also, many private colleges have also opened in Bihar. And the education system is changing, not at a very fast pace, but at a gradual pace. It is changing.
Okay, but as a student of public administration, as you just said that we have government colleges and schools, and then we have the private schools and colleges. So, what kind of values of the private schools and private education institutions will you like to introduce in your government setup, government institutions?
Yes, sir. There are something like that. First of thing that will be is that there should be an interaction between the teachers and the parents. That is very much important, because I think that in the government school there is very little interaction between the teachers and the parents, and also the routine work in the government school is very much you can say that monotonous. They don't try to bring any type of innovation in the government school. But when you go to the private school, there are many types of innovative things like sports activity, like that, many types of interaction. That type of thing happens in private school. That I would like to introduce in the government.
Okay. Now the problems that you have just talked about, lack of interaction between the parents and the teachers and the students, and then innovations and all. Why do you think that we are not having these things in our government schools and government colleges? What was the problem?
The main problem, as far as I believe, is that there is less accountability in the government sector government school as compared to the private school. Because if you look at the teacher, there is no one in the school to correct the teacher that what they need to do. They have the job security, and that's why they think that type of innovation does not happen in the government.
So you mean to say that job security is the reason why the teachers are not?
Other than job security,
No, job security is one of the reasons,
yeah,
because of which the teachers are not so much. They are accountable to the.
Other than job security, there should be certain types of facilities for the teachers also, sir. Because if you are working in any school, you also need something to grow as a teacher. Teachers should have also some type of training activities, some type of recreational activities in a school, and also they should also be trained so that how can
I've understood your point. But my point is that Rohit, as you correctly said, that presence of job security is actually responsible for the absence of accountability, isn't it? So if that is the case, then if you join this service, here also you'll get the job security. So the result will be the same, because you'll be secure in your job, and therefore you'll not be accountable to the public.
If you look at the scenario right now, and what was 4 or 5 years ago, now you can see that many government officials are also getting fired. They are giving voluntary retirement. Now, therefore, you can say that now that type of job security is not there in the government sector, what it used to be 4 or 5 years back.
Okay, nowadays, you can be hired and fired. So
time,
government sector is no longer a government sector anymore.
No, sir, it is still the government sector, but the situation is changing. The security has somewhat changed than what it was 4 or 5 years back.
But don't you think, Rohit, that if you are given security, only then your performance will be better? Right now, you see, just look at the, for example, CBI tenure.
Yes, sir.
I know, in fact, the cabinet secretary also must have said that some people say that unless and until you get the security of tenure, that is 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, before that you will be transferred. If you get that kind of a security, only then you will be able to perform better. If you are always shaky, then any time you will be transferred, then you won't be able to perform.
Yes, I totally agree with you, but with the security there should also be some accountability, as well as there should be some department who can appraise their performance. With security, accountability and appraisement of that officer should also be there.
Just few days back, one political leader has said that judiciary and legislature, the relationship will be such that judiciary should respect the legislature and the legislature should respect the judiciary. That Lakshman Rekha should always be there. Can you name the person who made this statement?
There is somewhat confusion, but I should try to name. I think that Prime Minister Narendra Modi said something in that conference, and after that, the Law Minister of India, Kiran Rijiju, also said something about that in the media.
So, what do you understand by judiciary not crossing the Lakshman Rekha?
So now the situation is that there are many PILs which is filed in the Supreme Court as well as High Court, and they are directly interfering with the working of the legislative system and the parliamentary system in India. Therefore, that is the Lakshman Rekha. They should know their limit and should not always involve in the legislative business of the country.
Okay. I think you know that the Supreme Court has given a list of areas on which PIL can be filed and others won't be entertained. Can you tell me those names?
Sorry sir, I don't remember.
Otherwise you have read it.
Yes sir, I have read it, but I don't remember it.
What is the difference between judicial review and judicial activism?
Judicial review and judicial activism. Sir, in the judicial review, the court is examining the validity of that thing, whether that is legally right or wrong. But when we go to judicial activism, we are taking the help of the judiciary to get into the legislative business and to check that whether that law is right or wrong. That is, sir.
Is judicial activism good?
Up to some extent it is good, sir. But too much judicial activism is not good. Because if there is too much judicial activism, then each and every law which is passed by the parliament or the state legislature will go to judicial activism for increased scrutiny.
But if legislature and the executive, they don't do anything at all, supposing they are sleeping, so obviously there will be too much of judicial activism. In what sense that is bad thing?
Sir, they are also the legislator are also the elected members, and the people have directly elected them.
And so what? Elected member does not mean that you have got the license to sleep over the files.
That is why I am saying that little amount of judicial activism is very good, but too much of interfering in the working of the legislature is not that much.
My point is, if the legislature, the executive, they are not doing anything, and every day when you wake up and you see that judiciary is saying something about all this stuff, they're not doing anything at all. Then it is good.
Yeah, then it is good.
I would say that too much of judicial activity.
But if there is too much problem in the government and too much problem in the executive, then of course the judiciary should step in and should give.
So when judicial activism is too much, then it is called. There's a specific term.
Yes, sir, yes, sir. I am not able to recall it right now.
Okay, Rohit. What are paramilitary forces?
The paramilitary forces are the central government forces which are recruited by the central government and are generally placed for different type of activities other than that of the directly armed forces of the India, like that of the CISF is there, CRPF is there.
Can you name the paramilitary force that is deployed at the
BSF, sir.
BSF? Are you sure you can use that?
I'm not sure, sir, but I think it is BS, sir.
Okay. There is a term terrorism, and there is a term Naxalism. So, and there is a term extremism. What's the difference between these terms?
Sorry, sir, I don't know it accurately. But
What
I
is
can try.
insurgency?
Well, I don't know, sir, that correctly, but I can try if you will tell me.
Okay.
Sir, insurgency means when there is a rapid increase in the terrorism activities in any area, then it is known as insurgency. And I think that local people are involved in that type of anti-government activities.
Local people.
Means the people of that area are also helping the external elements or the person who are involved in that. But I'm not sure.
Okay. Can you name some of the terrorist organizations that are operating in India?
Yes. Jamatul Dawa, that is a Pakistani-based terrorist organization. Lashkar-e-Toiba, that is a Pakistan-based terrorist organization which is operating in mainly Kashmir and other parts of India. And also, there is also one branch of Taliban which is also operating in some parts of India. By that,
And name this terrorist organization acting against India.
East India, sir, there are many. Sir. I'm not able to recall the name right now, sir. But recently the government has signed the peace treaty with one of that organization.
In Bihar, we see that the urbanization here is very low. So, can you tell me some of the regions behind this low level of urbanization in Bihar?
So there are many reasons. First of that is that Bihar is primarily a agricultural type of state. In which majority of population is engaged in agricultural activities. I think 89% of the population is based in the rural areas of India. Other than that is as Bihar is a landlocked state, therefore we don't have any access to the seaport. Therefore, any manufacturing company is hesitant to come to Bihar to do any manufacturing. Other than that is that we don't have that.
Don't you think that Punjab and Haryana, these are also landlocked states?
Yes, a landlocked state.
But they are the urbanization level is high.
Yes,
They are
sir.
also developed.
Yes, sir, because sir, they have a very good they have developed a very good road connectivity is also there. They have a very good railway connectivity is also there. That is also some of the parameter. Also, the electricity penetration in Punjab and Haryana is very much high as compared to that of Bihar. In Bihar, I think not present like 4 or 5 years earlier, the electricity was not that much sufficient so that we can provide manufacturing company to make their plant in Bihar. But now the situation is changing. The urbanization level is increasing at a very fast pace. I think that the urbanization now Bihar has increased from 11% to 15.3% now.
Can you tell me the 3 major problems of the cities in Bihar?
So one of that is the narrow road. Other that is the garbage problem. Too much pollution is there. Other than that, the city planning is not perfect in any of the cities in Bihar. Proper planning is not there.
Rohit, you are a BTech,
Yes, sir.
mechanical, and then you want to become a civil servant right now working as a G. Why do you want to become a civil servant?
Sir, I am working as a J for the last I think 4 or 5 years, and I'm there in Bihar. One thing I noticed that it is the civil servant job in which you can have direct interaction with the people, and there are lots of problems which is happening around us. If I am moving in a road, then I see that there is lots of garbage problem, lots of poor people are living, and there are lots of help to the people of Bihar which I can do if I will be there in the administrative setup. And that thing I cannot do at my present job. I can quote a small example. Few years back, there was an old lady which was residing near my house. His children has thrown her out of his own house, and she went to the police station. And the police station, in spite of having an FIR involving in that, she was thrown out of the police station. And that type of thing happens in Bihar. If you don't have that type of reference, or if you are not from a powerful background, then the police or the administration does not help you easily. Therefore, I think that administration is something in which if I will get involved, then I will definitely try to help some person.
So, from your views, I get an opinion that the only way to serve the people is joining the civil services.
No, sir, there are many other ways, but I think that this is the best platform by which I can help the people. There are many other ways that I can also help the people right now without joining the civil services. But the effectiveness of my helping will be the maximum if I will join the civil services.
If you join the civil services. Okay, and you have studied from Kerala
Yes.
after your 12th standard.
Yes.
Okay. Now tell me the importance of Kerala for India.
Sir, Kerala is one of the most important state of India. First of all, the literacy rate of that is very much high. And also, if you look at that, our space and ISRO main headquarters is also there in Kerala. Therefore, in terms of our space exploration, Kerala is also one of the most.
Main headquarters?
Trivandrum, sir.
Okay.
Trivandrum, sir.
Okay.
Trivandrum, sir.
And
Other than, as I already told, the literacy rate is very much high. Other than that, large amount of Keralites go and work in Gulf country, and the remittance that they send from the Gulf country is very much higher, and that is a very much important base for the economy of Kerala. Other than that, sir, tourism sector. If you go to Kerala, you will see a lot of foreign tourists which is there in the Kerala. Therefore, from the tourist sector also we are having a very good amount.
recently there is much inquiry regarding Silver Line project. What is this?
Sir, that is a train project which will connect from north to the south part of the Kerala.
Which kind of train? Which kind of
Semi high speed train.
Okay, which will connect?
From all over the Kerala, from the north part of the Kerala to the south part.
Then what's the problem?
Sir, lots of land will be required for making the train route, and lots of loss of the biodiversity will be there in the Kerala, as well as lots of village will lose their village land as well as agricultural land, and the people in the government are saying that as the Indian Railway already have the rail line, then why it is need for the Kerala government to make a separate line for the state?
Okay. And what are the one or two things which you don't like about Kerala?
To be honest, sir, one thing that I don't like about Kerala was that as I was living in a rented accommodation, and that time there are many instances that that I feel that I should be in the North India. Other than that, I was very much happy in the Kerala, and everything I was liking in that state.
And which culture you like most, or you term it to be a better, of Bihar or of Kerala?
So both are having their own beauty. I have experienced both of them, and both are good. Some of the thing about Kerala is that their people are very much polite. Their people are very much helping in Kerala. In spite of being a North Indian, they were always helping to us.
So, which part of biogeographic region does Kerala lie? If you see the biogeographic regions of India, in which part Kerala lies? Which zone Kerala lies?
Because I think that I don't remember that thing, but it is in the southern part, and Nilgiri Hills is there, as well as the Western Ghats part is also there in Kerala.
Okay. What is Silent Valley? Have you heard this or visited this Silent Valley?
I don't know whether I am correct in this, but I think that Nilgiri Valley is known as the Silent Valley.
Why?
I don't know.
Okay.
Yes, right. Your interview is over. That's you're a very good candidate. Okay, you have to maintain your performance. Few points. One is, of course, I think you'll change this. Yes, you have to come in formal.
Yes, sir. Right.
This is very much informal. Second time, if you come with formal. Few important ones. One is that you have used too many times. You know. You see, because they'll be around 60 plus. This is an informal way of talking to seniors. You cannot say, you know what, you know, if you say, if you like, if you look, this kind of words, sentences you have used. Many times you have used. So you have to avoid them completely, you have to avoid them, right? Second one is that, for example, sir asked you a question, which culture is better? You give a perfect answer, ki they have got their own beauties. Bihar's culture is good, Kerala's culture is good. Give a full stop. And then you kept on saying, which that did not, drag, when you said immediately that the people of Kerala, they are polite, in spite of I being a North Indian, something like this you say. Isn't it? Something like that's what you say. So that was something, that is just like killing your chances. You should have given a full stop. You have answered, beautiful answer. That's it. No, this is an unnecessary piece of information which you gave, and that was also a long one. What do you mean by in spite of being a North Indian?
Sorry,
Isn't it?
I get it.
तो ये दो points जो बहुत ज़्यादा important है, उसको दिमाग में रखना पड़ेगा. एक तो if you look at, if you see, these things, and this kind of extra information. Otherwise, you are good. Your flow is good. Everything is good. You are a good one.
या बाकी सब ठीक है. थोड़ा बहुत इंफॉर्मेशन है वो देख लो. अदरवाइज प्रेजेंटेशन इज गुड.
हाँ, सब ठीक. And placement थोड़ा सा ऐसा रहेगा. हाँ,
वो हो जाएगा.
बाकी सब ठीक है. हो जाएगा भाई इस बार.
सर एक डाउट सर मुझे पूछना था सर. मुझे ये समझ में नहीं आता है कि whether I should go with English or Hindi, because अगर पैनल में मुझसे सामने वाले हिंदी में क्वेश्चन पूछेंगे,
हिंदी में बताना.
हिंदी में बताऊंगा. अगर वो इंग्लिश में पूछेंगे तब मैं इंग्लिश में
तो इंग्लिश में बताना. हो सकता है उनको हिंदी उतना आता नहीं है. ऐसा भी तो साउथ इंडियन भी हो सकते हैं, ऐसा मैंने सुना है. तो इन दैट केस इंग्लिश में ही बताना जैसे भी है.
जिस मीडियम में पूछते हैं, अगर वो प्रेफर करते हैं, ये भी हो सकता है कि दे विल आस्क दिस मीडियम वुड प्रेफर फॉर द इंटरव्यू. तब तो फिर आपका डिसीजन है.
परफेक्ट. बेस्ट ऑफ.
थैंक यू सर.
मैं अकाउंटेंसी के बारे में पूछूंगा ना.